So you can grow pole beans, you can grow a lot of vine crops in containers versus what you may have heard other people say. What we have here is an approximate 20-25 gallon black container here, and we have put in as our trellis device tent poles that we had in the shed that hasn't been used for years. Now you can construct any type of string trellis or put this next to a fence to allow the beans to grow up. And that's the advantage to having pole beans or vining crops such as cucumbers on a trellis behind me. It allows the plants to go vertical. You can pick them easier, and they don't sprout on the ground. If you want compact varieties of beans, go with bush beans. Pole beans work very well for us, even in a container. So I've got soil here from years past, and I've just loosened it up. There's not a whole lot that needs to be done here. I do have some certified leaf compost that I'm going to add to it, and just top it off. But before I do that, I'm going to take some shredded paper, add as a kind of a sandwich here between the old soil and the new compost as kind of a water retention mechanism. It doesn't have to be much. It's just shredded paper. Again, you don't want to use the glossy kind. This is just regular magazine junk mail paper. I'm going to add some fertilizer. Now, beans do not necessarily need fertilizer, but because they will fix their own nitrogen in their leaves, they'll have nodulars and they'll pull it from the atmosphere. But if you provide ample fertilizer or nitrogen for them, they don't necessarily have to work as hard, and they'll do a little bit better when it comes to growing. And now, instead of mixing this in, I'm just going to top this with new compost. And if I got a little too much in there, we'll just take some of that out. It will settle down. Okay, so there we go. Now with the planting, you can put as many stakes in here as you want. We'll probably add a few more. But what I'll do here is I'll make a ring, and I'm planting just ordinary Blue Lake pole beans. Good, tried and true favorite. Works very well. Takes 60 to 70 days to reach maturity, maybe 70, 80, something like that, but it'll produce until the frost kills it. Now with a container here, what I'll do is I'll space my beans first, and then I'll push them in the soil. And again, I don't want to overseed, but I don't want to underseed. I'd much rather have too many plants come up and then have to thin, which I don't believe I'll need to. And that looks about right, just from experience. And now I'm just going to push them in the ground. Now you can mulch this with a variety of different materials. Weed-free and chemical-free dry grass clippings, shredded leaves, straw, paper, shredded paper will work. And I would wait 4 or 5 days, these would germinate, then I would go ahead and mulch around them just to make sure that they come up and not be restricted by whatever mulch I put on top. So pole beans, cucumbers, viney crops in a container, absolutely, and you can be very creative with the trellis and it'll work really, really well.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.